Review copy provided by PlayStation. Hello, everybody. We are here to talk about Death Stranding 2 on the beach.
On the beach.
On the
Subtitle.
beach.
What do you think of subtitles?
I like them generally.
Maybe.
You know, do you like them?
Die Hard 2, Die Harder.
Die Harder.
Sure.
Die Hard. That one's just Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Yeah.
It's not Die Hard 3 Die with a Vengeance.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, so we're here to talk about Death Stranding 2, and like Huber and I were talking about this the other day. How do you talk about this game? Because like everything about the story is a spoiler from in a sense, and the gameplay is like improved, but mostly the same.
Largely the same, I would say.
And we have to, review copies provided by PlayStation. Neither of us has completely finished the game yet.
Taking it
So this is,
real slow.
yeah, this is like an impressions in progress kind of a video. But yeah, I mean, I like it. I got like teared up when I started because the graphics were so good.
So insane.
I was like,
so
what
out of control.
the hell?
Yeah. Performance, visuals, all that top to bottom. I mean, this is just Kojima Productions, so you know exactly what you're getting in terms of the quality on the tech side. Like it runs perfectly. Everything's great. Feels good.
Feels good.
Yeah.
You really feel the like if Sam's losing balance,
I love that.
you like somehow feel it.
Yeah.
Like, and you're like, oh, I gotta do these controllers, like,
It's
and the
crazy.
haptic feedback is like, oh, it's that aspect of it is really good.
Yeah.
It's interesting because it's like, I'm super invested in like the first one, because the first game, we were talking about this too. The first game, there were parts of it where I was like, am I enjoying this? Like, is this fun? Moment to moment, and I don't know if it was, but then when I finished the game, I was like, I loved that.
It's about the journey. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so this is kind of similar, and especially as a sequel, you jump in and you're like, okay, this is almost surprisingly familiar so far. But then I think both of us suspect that another shoe will drop.
For me, like, maybe I'm really far now, and like
Yeah.
I don't even care about the shoe dropping. And I think you're so right, because we experienced it with Souls games, kind of where it's like, okay, more of the same, but it's amazing. I think though the difference for me here with it feeling so much better than the first game is because it's a sequel, because the story has so much more weight because of what happened in the first game. And now we are just, as the player, way more invested in Fragile and Lou and Sam Porter Bridges, and just these characters now have had so much more history.
Like at the start of this game, I was maximum invested, like from the jump, and like I didn't replay one, or I didn't replay the director's cut. I didn't watch a video catch up. The game has a video catch up, and I didn't watch it because
it's really quick.
Pretty much remember what happened.
Yeah,
and even without any of that, this from the jump, I'm like, I am in. I am
So invested.
8,000% in on these characters.
They're
and
amazing.
this world. Yeah.
This game is just so tender.
Yeah.
And it's like really understated, and just the pace and the slow calm of it is masterful. Like it has such a nice steady hand of Kojima just guiding this thing. I just am constantly on the hook, either from like a gameplay, one more delivery addiction, or one more little nugget of the story to advance. Like it is, I am in it right now. I am so addicted, getting all the cargo. Like sometimes it'll be like, I really want to advance the story because obviously this preview is going up, and I just like want to keep the story going. But sometimes it'll be like, there's all this cargo right here. I can just take it over there real quick. And those rewards you get
Yeah.
are so meaningful because it's like, it's sure you get stuff where it's like, okay, your gun is level 2 now, whatever. But even like the first one, you get like optional toys that are just so fun to mess around with. For example, not a spoiler, you can get like little, it reminds me of Die Hard or Total Recall. It reminds me of Total Recall where you can like throw a little puck down and it'll have like a decoy hologram.
Oh, yeah, the
and
decoy.
stuff.
Yeah.
It's just like little toys like that are just like such a cool reward.
Yeah, I love the like. This was one of my favorite things about the first one too, but like the building. In this one, like there are some new stuff like a watchtower, which I don't think was in the first one.
I know. I full disclosure, like you said, the comparisons of the first one are tough because both you and I played it in 2019.
Yeah,
So
which is that's
sorry,
crazy.
everybody. Yeah,
But like, I love the elements of the building and the collaborative nature of the game, and like, you really do kind of it sends its own message home where it's like, if you're out in the middle of nowhere and you see somebody's like ladder,
yeah,
or
their device, whatever it is.
or their little like time fall shelter.
Yes.
Like, you're like, okay, you just saved my ass. Or a
Yeah.
generator. Like,
Yeah,
driving
those
from
are key.
driving from other people's generators to other people's generators to keep your like motorbike going
So good.
is rad.
It's so you feel so connected in a meaningful way. The Strand game that
Should we
Kojima was
have
ramping
connected,
about.
dude? Should we have connected?
Should
bro?
we have connected? Like the servers have been down for the last day or so, and I find myself like feeling the loss and the loneliness of not being connected to everyone. It's a very powerful feeling, for sure.
Yeah. Well, and it's really interesting too because like so much of the game is so meditative and lonely.
Yeah.
But then, so I guess there's probably something to that where it's like you're out in the middle of the desert or whatever, and then you see somebody's little like cheers, you know, or in a fight, like little goopy
little
other
goopy
people sending you blood grenades or whatever.
I love that stuff.
Let's talk about the combat because
Yeah.
for me, I'm fully here for the story and for the walking around.
Yeah. Fair.
You know, I don't mind the sneaking and stuff, but anytime I
Love
get
the
to
stealth.
combat, I'm like, especially against a BT, like frankly, I kind of lose a little interest because I just
Okay.
don't think it's that fun to fight. Like, you know, no big spoiler, but like kind of early on, there's a BT kind of a fight to get you back into like, here's how you do this. I didn't enjoy it really. And so like I was playing on normal for a while and I've knocked it down just so I could be like, I'm just going to get through these.
Nice.
I'm
playing
how do
on
you feel about
brutal.
it? Yeah, I know, because you actually really like getting nitty gritty on that stuff. So
Yes.
talk to me about that stuff.
The stealth, like you were saying, the stealth is so fun because it feels like Metal Gear,
Yeah.
Phantom Pain. Because
Yeah.
even in Metal Gear, Isla, you know, the stealth is so fun in Metal Gear, and then the combat happens, and you're just like, okay, like try to shoot them all down or run and hide again and re-engage in stealth. I think the stealth is really freaking good.
Yeah.
Like super good. It is brutally intense.
Well, it's realistic.
It's
Like,
so realistic.
We
Like,
were talking about this because the game even tells you it's like you can hide in this long grass, but like if you've got a huge stack of packages sticking out of the long grass, they're gonna see that.
you're just like, oh shit.
You're like creeping down. And there's just this big stack of boxes, and they're like, I see a big stack of boxes.
And then it's so intense because they see you and they like sprint at you.
Yeah,
It's so
and like hurl like an electric javelin at you and stuff
Yeah.
like that. It's like wild.
yeah. So I love the stealth takedowns because it feels
Yes, those are
incredibly rewarding. You get you have like you get level ups by doing things like delivering heavy loads. If you have like a little character stat sheet, so there's like one for the rope, and then you also get judged at the end of a mission on your combat or stealth. So getting that stealth to level up and then unlocking those little perks are really fun because you'll have like, it's called like not battery power, but you have a separate currency that you can then use to slot in. It's almost like badges or something from like Hollow Knight, kind of. You have like a certain amount of battery power you can use basically to equip certain perks, whatever.
Yeah.
So stealth is super fun. Combat, like you were saying, not the greatest thing ever, but
it's also not the focus, so it's like...
Exactly, and it gets the job done for me. Like,
Yeah.
managing ammo is a super big deal, because you don't pick up ammo, you, like, pick up full guns.
Yeah.
And, like, you don't always have a lot of ammo, so if you're spraying like a madman, it's, like, not ideal. The boomerang. Have you got the boomerang yet?
No. I'm about to go where one might get a boomerang.
Great. There is a
If I can say that.
there's like a boomerang.
I'm like 7 hours in, 8 hours in.
There's a boomerang where you have to use your own blood to charge it.
Oh shit.
And you can throw it and it'll come back. And it's just a really fun weapon. I think the combat is elevated by how fun the tools can be to use. Whereas, sure, the shooting isn't the best in class.
Well, and I should specify, like, I really enjoy, like you said, going through like a bandit camp.
It's so fun and just sneaking through.
Stealthing through and like stealth takedowning the people. I love that. I love. It for me specifically, it's the BTs and fighting them, because it's just like, I guess in a good way, it feels like a drag out Panic sometimes.
For sure.
And like,
because there's not a lot of forced encounters.
Yeah.
In all aspects of the game, a lot of it, the vast majority, you can sneak around.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So I appreciate that.
It really lets you go your own way, do your own thing. To go your own way. Also, I wanted to say I really like the route planning aspect.
So fun, Isla. Oh my god, the prep.
The prep.
Preparing for a delivery mission.
Yeah, so like before a mission in this one, you get the map and you can set your own waypoints and you can look at the topography and like, obviously from a map, you're not going to make a perfect route all the time. And like, I remember one time I planned a route where I was like, okay, I'm going to go through these dried riverbeds and it's going to be perfect. Like I'm going to
go right through here.
I'm not going to fall over. I can just skate around and I'll avoid this bandit camp. And then halfway through my journey, it starts to rain. It starts downpouring.
The rain scares me.
The rivers start to flood. And it changes my whole route that I planned was borked, because it was like, okay, you can't do that now, like, because the dry riverbeds are now huge raging rivers, and I'm like, oh great, okay, well I have to build a bridge and run through this bandit camp, I guess. Like, shoot, like what am I supposed to do?
Just like adapting to those moments is so fun, and then always that little carrot of, there's a piece of cargo right over there. I got to go that way, but it's right there. Let me just grab it.
Especially, and it's like, it's such a good, I mean, in a way, it's like a traversal puzzle game, because it's like, in addition to survival, and like, it's such a good carrot, like you said, like, especially if there's something in the story happening where there's like a timetable and you're like, oh God, I'm really invested in getting back there. But then it's like, a side quest delivery is right there.
It's always right there.
It's like, is it? And I'm like half dead. Is it worth it to go do that? It's such a, it's Death Stranding 2, and it's Kojima, and like, honestly, before this, we were like, how do we even talk about this game?
It's very difficult.
And I will say, if you liked Death Stranding 1, you will love this.
Yeah,
If you didn't like Death Stranding 1, this is improved, but it's a lot it's similar. It's
You know,
still Death Stranding.
I kind of compare it to like a God of War situation, Isla, where it's like God of War Ragnarok,
Yeah.
Last of Us Part 2. I feel like the pressure of a sequel is to be bigger and more. And I feel, thankfully, beautifully, Death Stranding 2
Yeah.
is like more intimate
Yeah.
in the sequel.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel bigger to be bigger as a sequel. Like, it's still so focused. This is such a focused, tight, refined, intimate, meaningful, tender story.
Yeah.
And I really, really respect it for that.
Yeah, I mean, to echo that, like my favorite moments, like I can recall them like perfectly. My favorite moments of the first game are like conversations
Yeah.
between two of the characters, like a guy starting to cry,
Yeah.
like a CG man starting to cry was like one of the most moving video game moments for me
Yeah.
in a while, right? And already in this game, you know, I'm like the first quarter in or whatever.
Yeah.
And already my favorite moments are all just conversations,
Yeah, absolutely.
cutscenes, scenes, and you know, it's
Some of the
Kojima.
Best
There's gonna be
cutscenes.
cutscenes.
Some of the best. Yeah.
But like it's already just like using the systems that it introduces for dramatic effect as well. Like, you know, you'll get a notification through the game's like in-game notification system that like sometimes is just like a tooltip, but then sometimes is like a heartfelt text message from somebody.
Yeah.
And you're just like, I am so invested in this.
So, yeah. And like we started this by saying like, oh, you know, is the shoe gonna drop in the game?
Right.
Before the release, we saw like all this other weird stuff and these weird characters. And it's like Kojima probably has a pressure like
Right.
to do that.
Like
You
M.
know,
Night
like
Shyamalan, yeah.
M. Night Shyamalan, and it's like, I don't know. I think sometimes we're right to expect that stuff, but maybe not. But I will say there are just like constant little things, like constant
Yeah.
little Kojima cheeky things where
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
like,
I mean,
where it's like
there's
that's enough for me rather than some big like, whoa, the game is like
Right.
flipping
Which-
on its head.
which, like, hey, still could happen
Still
at the
could
end of the game. Like,
absolutely
who the hell
happen.
knows? But I mean, like, there's a dude, and this is in trailers. There's
Yeah.
a dude that's a puppet.
Exactly.
That's just
exactly what I'm
that
getting
like
at. Yeah.
exists at 10 frames per second, and like that's
So
just
cool.
who he is. And you're just
Yeah.
like, and you're just like, after a couple of seconds with that, you're just like, yeah, okay, sure,
Yeah. Yeah.
and like, but
I buy in.
the way the characters react to that is like the same as the player.
Yeah.
The character sees it, and they're just like, is that guy a puppet? Like,
Yeah.
it's like, what's
Or when
that?
Sam goes into the bridge too, he'll
Yeah.
like hang the puppet on like this little string to just like take
Oh
him
yeah,
off.
to like go around, yeah,
to go around just to like, cause it's like a person basically, you
Yeah.
know, he's like, he has his own identity. So it's like, okay, come off the belt, put you up there, join the party, join the conversation.
Yeah.
Like the bonds are so,
It's you know, it's an expectedly unique gaming experience.
yeah.
You know, it's weird because it's weird to have an expectation that something will defy your expectations.
Yes.
And
it's
succeeds at
restrained.
that. And yet, yeah, it's a very restrained, refined,
yeah.
intimate story, like you said.
I do want to give a shout out to just the UIs and
Yeah.
the tutorializing and the data book,
Good call, yeah.
all that stuff. You know, like if you don't play for a couple days, I think it's so freaking well done. I could see this becoming a standard in video games. When you don't
It
play for a
brings
little
up
while,
the codec. Yeah.
when you don't play for a while, you load into the game immediately. The codec of like what's going on in the game,
Yeah.
what is happening.
At first, the first time I did that, I was like, I thought I had like hit the codec button accidentally
Yeah.
or something. But then I realized the second time I came back, it's like, oh no, it's catching me back up to what the
so
hell's
nice.
going on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's very nice.
Yeah. And like for how complicated this game can be. There's a lot of, like you said, survival stuff, the weight management, the cargo, the, cargo condition versus container condition, the wheel of your items, where you're putting like there's a lot going on, but it is so intuitive.
It's complex, but not overly complicated.
Yes. Well said. Yes.
And yeah, this game wouldn't work if the basic system wasn't refined and intuitive and fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like, say what you will for the meditative nature of walking through a desert for 15 straight minutes. But it just feels right. Mm-hmm. And like if your cargo is huge and heavy, you feel it. You can tell, especially if you're unbalanced, you're just like, okay, this I cannot like. It's a really neat thing to look at a cargo laying on the ground and just intuitively be like, I can't pick that up. That would tip me right over. Like I cannot do it.
At one point I was holding things in my hands because I had so much cargo and I was like, I'm not leaving this.
Yeah.
And I'm just like
holding R2L2 like to kind of brace constantly.
I like saw the delivery spot. I'm like, I'm not leaving it. It's right there. Yeah. I can get there.
It's a good game, dude.
It's so good.
Like,
and another aspect of the progression that I love, not a spoiler at all, you find just, even like the first game, those little shelter hideouts are so, like, the people that house those have really interesting stories on their own. And then what's really cool too is the addictive compulsion to level up each one of those by delivering things.
Yeah.
They each have their own items that you would want. For example, like, okay, this person is giving like close quarter stuff. If you want to commit to that. This person is giving like delivery tech if I want to commit to that. So I really like
I remember
that.
Yeah, I love that element. I remember in the first game going whole hog on the camp. There was a guy that I think it was like mech legs or something.
The best, yeah.
And I just went like I maxed it out. I was like everything for mech legs and zip lines was like my huge thing in the and highways. Like by the end of my game in number 1, I had like highways and zip lines across literally the entire game.
It's so awesome.
And I had mech legs. It's just
sprinting with the mech legs is so fun.
Oh my god. It's such a weird, amazing game.
I also really like saw this in the trailer, the ship we have, the Magellan.
Yeah.
I love this.
The tar traversal just kind of idea is so neat and weird.
So cool. I just like having a central location that we can call our own.
Yeah.
Coming back to the ship feels like you're coming home because of the crew there. You have your own room instead of always like renting a random room at a shelter or hideout. You have like your space, which I love.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really I appreciate that. It's just
and they're nice little things you can customize and stuff too. It's nice. Yeah, man. Like,
loving it.
It's just a weird, cool game. I don't know.
I will not be surprised to see 10 out of 10s for sure.
For sure.
I will not be. It will not surprise me in the least.
10 out of 10s, and then like 1 6.
Yeah, 1 6 or 7. That's like same game. I don't like delivering.
Like, this is boring.
Yes,
the combat is bad. And it's like, yeah, well, true, I guess. Like,
really, really, really loving it. Just super invested in everything about it. It just feels really, really special.
Yeah,
it feels like the best. It feels like it's being made by a master.
It has a sure hand at the till. Like the story is patient and
so patient. It's such a patient game, and that's why I'm not done, and I'm like halfway because it's like I'm not rushing this.
I mean, similarly, like
those are some of the most fun moments, Isla, where you're just not rushing it, and you're like, I'm gonna do some deliveries.
This to me feels like a game that you got to let it steep like a cup of tea. Like, yeah. And especially because the first game, because I remember we got it like a month early
Yeah.
and I wanted to beat it before embargo.
Yeah.
And I remember feeling so rushed, which
Yeah.
felt anathema to this kind of a game. And so, yeah,
Totally.
for this one, I've been taking my time as well. And I don't know, that feels like the way to do it.
Absolutely. It feels good.
Yeah. All right.
I'm
Well,
sure
any
we'll be
other
back with a
thoughts?
spoiler mode,
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Isla, to really dive into the story beats and all that because, there's a lot going on.
I mean, yeah,
Kojima game
like we honestly, you can't talk about the story in any
at all.
specificity from beat one.
I'm glad we have not. If you
Yeah.
want that discussion, I'm sure it's out there
Yeah.
at this
Well, and
point,
especially if you
but
haven't
not
played
at
the
Easy
first
Allies.
one,
Yeah.
if you haven't played the first one, this one picks up like not directly, but like pretty
Yeah.
directly after the first one. And like the story is very dependent
Yeah.
on knowing what happened kind of on the first one. Like
Absolutely.
you could probably jump in on this
But it would be
and
weird.
get it, but like it would be a little strange. You maybe wouldn't have the emotional investment that the game expects you to have. But yeah. Any other thoughts, Hubie?
Just really impressed with it from top to bottom, everything about it. It's hard to complain about anything, even how we have said the combat is kind of the low point. It's still leagues above so many other games.
Yeah.
And it's not built as a shooter.
Yeah.
So I think that
Well, and the
it's built
stealth-
as a it's
the
built as
stealth
stealth
combat-
cargo delivery. Yeah.
But the
exactly.
stealth combat is top tier. It's like the
Top
best of
tier.
the best. So like
Top tier.
it really does feel like it's built to discourage you from
Yeah.
just leaning on combat.
Like
you know?
like Hitman, like Hitman. Oh, combat's happening. I fucked up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like it's like that. It's like if you get into a scrape, like besides the one or two times where you kind of have to,
Yeah.
you feel like you did something wrong.
Yeah.
It's like-
I also respect it's the first time this has happened in a long time in video games with difficulty. I respect that it doesn't penalize you for turning it down, but it rewards you for turning it up because when you finish one of those missions on Brutal, you get a special badge called Legend of Legends. Every time you do one of those, and every time you finish a mission, it'll have like all of your stats and everything there, and it'll have like how many of those badges you've collected. And it's like, I just want to get more of those badges. It feels so
That's
good.
funny.
It
That's
feels so yeah.
That's funny.
I just love that. And again, turn it down anytime.
Yeah.
Game is super duper friendly, accessible, lot of options.
Give me the I'm just here for the story badge. Like
Exactly. There's that too.
I just want to
love
see what
that.
Fragile's up to. You know?
Every game should have a story mode. Every single game,
Yeah.
for sure. Like
for sure.
every game should have it. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Hubie. Thanks, everybody. We are Easy Allies. We have all kinds of coverage and previews and podcasts and live streams and stuff like that. So check us out on YouTube and socials, just /Easy Allies on everything. And if you want to support us, it's patreon.com/Easy Allies. Easy to remember.
Yes.
Same on everything. All right. Thanks, Hubie. See you later. Bye, everybody.
See ya.
Review copy provided by PlayStation.